night of December 23, 2001, Nigeria lost more than a man. It lost a voice so powerful, so fearless, that even death couldn't silence it. That night, inside his own home in Ibadan, the nation's sitting Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Chief Bola Ige, was assassinated. A single gunshot, no arrests, no convictions. And more than 20 years later, the question still haunts Nigeria. Who killed Bola Ige? Stay with me, because this isn't just the story of one man's death. It's the story of power, betrayal, and how justice itself was assassinated in Nigeria. Born in September 1930, Bola Ige's brilliance was undeniable. As a child, he mastered Nigeria's three major languages, Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa, earning him the nickname Cicero of Esa Oke. A gifted lawyer from the University of Ibadan and later London, he was destined for greatness. But Bola Ige was not content with the courtroom alone. He had bigger dreams, a vision for a fairer, united Nigeria. When Nigeria returned to democracy in 1979, Ige leapt onto the political stage. He ran for governor of Old Oyo State under the Unity Party of Nigeria, led by the legendary Obafemi Awolowo. His campaign was electric, his speeches unforgettable. And when he won, he proved he wasn't just a politician, he was a reformer. He championed free education, opened opportunities for children who had none, and brought infrastructure to rural communities. But with boldness came enemies. Ige was outspoken, sharp with words, and unafraid to call out the powerful. Some admired him, others despised him. Fast forward to 1999. After years of military dictatorship, Nigeria embraced democracy again. President Olusegun Obasanjo needed strong, respected figures in his cabinet. And despite being from a rival party, he turned to Bola Ige. First, Ige was appointed Minister of Power and Steel. He promised to fix Nigeria's electricity crisis in months, a nearly impossible task. He failed, yes, but his determination was undeniable. Later, Obasanjo moved him to his true calling, Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice. Here, Bola Ige stood as the nation's chief law officer, a voice against corruption, political thuggery, and the rising wave of violence in Nigerian politics. But every word he spoke, every move he made created more enemies, and soon the threats grew darker. Just 1 week before his death, Bola Ige was publicly humiliated. At the palace of the Oni of Ife, thugs attacked him. They snatched off his cap and glasses, a grave insult in Yoruba culture. For many, this wasn't just humiliation, it was a warning, and that warning became reality. It was a Sunday evening, 2 days before Christmas. Bola Ige had returned to his Ibadan home after a long day's work in Lagos. Strangely, it was reported that all his official security guards had gone to eat when the assassins stormed the minister's home. But here is what Chief Ige's daughter, Funsho, had to say.
The excuse they gave was that my dad told them to go and eat. Now there was food in the house. There were cooks in the house. And they were still going to take my auntie to her son's house in Oluyole Estate. So Muiwa claimed, he was in the car, that my dad never told them to go out to go and eat. But obviously, they knew they were going to come and kill my dad. So I was the unknown factor. Because if I did not come in, they would have been like the heroes and said, we just came and met him. And by the time, we now discovered that by the time I came, they had actually seen my dad's dead body on the floor.
They had seen it.
They had seen
and
it.
pretended.
And pretended that they didn't see.
So the point is that when the assassins came, Bola Ige's security men were not around.
They said they were not around. They had locked my brother up. So nobody knew if indeed they were there, and they let those ones go in and do their work, But the excuse they gave was that they were not there. That's the excuse.
All of them.
All of them. And then 64 rounds of ammunition was locked up inside a cupboard.
Who locked it up?
The security detail.
So they were not armed when they left.
They were not armed when they left. They were not armed at any time. They did not plan to be armed. They had disarmed themselves.
Around 8:30 p.m., armed men stormed the compound. They moved with chilling confidence. They locked his wife in a room, gathered the staff, and went straight to Bola Ige's bedroom. A single gunshot. Moments later, the Cicero of Esa Oke lay in a pool of blood. Nigeria's Minister of Justice, assassinated in his own home. The nation was in shock. How could the chief law officer of Nigeria be killed so easily? How could his killers walk away unmasked? It wasn't just murder. It was an attack on democracy itself. The investigation that followed was chaotic, messy, and suspicious. Several political figures were arrested, including the deputy governor of Osun State, Ola Ige, who was in a bitter feud with Ige. One suspect, called Fryo, confessed, linking politicians to the crime. But then he recanted and changed his statement, claiming he'd been pressured. Evidence disappeared. Witnesses changed their stories. The trial dragged on for years, and in the end, every single suspect was acquitted. Not one person was convicted. Justice had been buried alongside Bola Ige. It's been over 2 decades since that night, and still, no answers. Bola Ige's assassination remains one of Nigeria's darkest political mysteries. It showed the world just how dangerous the game of power in Nigeria can be, and how easily justice can be silenced. But though his killers may still walk free, Bola Ige's voice has not been silenced. His fight for justice, his belief in democracy, and his dream of a united Nigeria still echo across the nation. If the Minister of Justice himself could be killed with no consequence, what hope is there for the ordinary Nigerian seeking justice? Think about that. Trust me, Nigerians are still eager to know the killer of Chief Bola Ige. Hopefully they find out someday. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more untold African stories that deserve to be remembered. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant.